नमस्कार। नमस्कार, मैं अनुपम रमेश केंगर 10 न्यूज़ के सभी दर्शकों श्रोताओं का ख्वाबगह की जानिब से हार्दिक स्वागत और इस्तकबाल करती हूँ अपने इस कार्यक्रम में देश से दूर प्रदेश के साथ। ये हमारी इस कड़ी का अंतिम कार्यक्रम है, छठा कार्यक्रम है, जिसमें हमने आपको देश से दूर रह रहे भिन्न भिन्न प्रकार के कुछ ऐसे व्यक्तित्व मिलवाए जिन्होंने भारतीय होने का हक अदा किया। और आज इसी कड़ी में मैं आपको दो और दिग्गज साहित्यकारों से मिलवाना चाहती हूँ जिन्होंने न केवल देश से दूर रहकर देश का परचम, देश का नाम रोशन किया, बल्कि और देशों के लोगों को भी भारतीयता नाम के इस आंदोलन में जोड़ा। हमारी आज की पहली अतिथि हैं श्रीमती नीलांजना भारद्वाज। नीलांजना जी यूं तो आर्किटेक्ट हैं, लेकिन आर्किटेक्चर के अलावा उसके अतिरिक्त उन्होंने स्वामी विवेकानंद अनुसंधान संस्थान से योगा टीचर की भी ट्रेनिंग ली है। और अब वे न सिर्फ योगा सिखाती हैं, न सिर्फ हठ योगा सिखाती हैं, परंतु अब वे आयुर्वेदिक प्रणाली से जीवन किस प्रकार जिया जाए इस पर भी निर्देश देती हैं। और उन्होंने अनेक स्थानों पर जाकर योगा एवं आयुर्वेदिक जीवन पर आख्यान दिए हैं और वे बहुत प्रसिद्ध हुई भी हैं। इसके अतिरिक्त उनकी एक पुस्तक भी प्रकाशित हुई है, द योगा बस के नाम से। वे एक साप्ताहिक कॉलम भी लिखती हैं और उनकी योगा की पुस्तक जिसका नाम है द योगा हैंडबुक, उसे भी बहुत अच्छी प्रकार से स्वीकारा गया है। उन्होंने अनेक स्थानों पर देश विदेश में जाकर योग एवं आयुर्वेद पर आख्यान व्याख्यान दिए हैं और उन्हें बहुत प्रसिद्धि हासिल हुई। हमारी आज की दूसरी अतिथि सुश्री कनिका जैन हैं। कनिका जैन जो कि होलिस्टिक हेल्थ कोच हैं, संपूर्ण स्वास्थ्य सिखाती हैं। ये क्वांटम एनर्जी हीलर हैं, लेकिन इन्होंने सीएफए की पढ़ाई भी कर रखी है। ये एक पुस्तक भी प्रकाशित कर चुकी हैं जिसमें केवल और केवल मानवीय चेतना को उत्कृष्टता के स्तर तक ले जाने की चेष्टा की गई है। इनकी इस पुस्तक को भी बहुत सराहा गया और पाठकों द्वारा उसे असीम प्रेम प्राप्त हुआ है। तो आइए सीधे सीधे रुख करते हैं इन दोनों महान हस्तियों की ओर और इनसे कुछ प्रश्न पूछते हैं। कार्यक्रम प्रारंभ से पहले एक सूचना, यह कार्यक्रम द्विभाषीय रहेगा, हिंदी और अंग्रेजी दोनों में वार्तालाप किया जाएगा। तो सबसे पहले नीलांजना जी, कनिका जी, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत हमारे इस कार्यक्रम में। वेलकम टू द शो where our endeavor is to introduce personalities like you to the youth of India to motivate them to unfurl, and not just unfurl, but get the tricolor flying very high. So, welcome Nilanjana ji, welcome Kanika ji. Any opening words from you both? We can start with Nilanjana and then we'll go on to Kanika.
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल थैंक यू सो मच अनुपम जी, ये आपने ऑनर दिया और इस चीज़ को आपने एक्नॉलेज किया कि हम अपनी कंट्री से बाहर आके भी वी जस्ट ट्राइंग टू टेक द ट्रेडिशन फॉरवर्ड, कल कीप द कल्चर अलाइव। और मैं तो सिर्फ यही कहूँगी कि मैं योगा हैपन टू मी बाय चांस हुआ था। ऐसा नहीं है कि वो शुरू से मैं करती आई हूँ।
जी
इट जस्ट हैपेंड क्योंकि मेरी तबीयत बहुत ख़राब हो गई थी बहुत साल पहले, 22 साल पहले, एंड देन द ओनली वे आउट फॉर मी वॉज टू heal myself through something else. बाद में अगर आप पूछेंगे तो मैं इसके बारे में बताऊंगी.
जी
तो इट हैपेंड टू बी बाय चांस. एक चीज के लिए मैंने इस चीज को आई टुक इट अप जस्ट टू हील माई सेल्फ उस जमाने में. बट देन आई डिडंट रियलाइज कि इसमें इतना सब कुछ है, इसमें पूरे अपनी हमारी पूरी कंट्री का लिटरली जो कुछ है, जो कल्चर है, सब कुछ, एवरीथिंग इज इम्बाइब्ड इन दिस वन साइंस, यू नो. एंड अभी तक मैं इसको सीख ही रही हूँ. आई हैव बीन टीचिंग फॉर 22 years. और जब मैं बहरीन आई 10 साल पहले, 12 साल पहले, तब भी यही अटेम्प्ट रहा, बिकॉज इतना आई फेल इन लव विद द साइंस सो मच कि जितना मैं लोगों को जहाँ तक ले जा सकूँ, आई शुड ट्राई एंड डू दैट. एंड अपने तरीके से आई हैव बीन डूइंग इट इन वट एवर वे आई कैन. चाहे वो कॉलम लिखना हो, चाहे वो किताब लिखना हो, चाहे वो क्लासेस लेना हो या वर्कशॉप हो, और चाहे खुद को भी पढ़ाई करते रहना हो. सो I'm just doing that, and I'm on this journey, and I always say everything is energy, and I truly believe that. So
thank you. What would you like to say, Kanika, as your opening?
Firstly, namaste everyone, and I'll call you Anupam Aunty because I always do
Please.
that. Thank you for this opportunity. I truly feel grateful and honored to be here, celebrating and cheering on such spectacular women all through the show, and celebrating you as well for having such a beautiful poetry festival in Bahrain. And when for me, community matters is because your vibe attracts your tribe. And being in spaces with people जिन्होंने इतना अपनी जिंदगी में सहा है और उसको they've turned their pain into their power, and being with them is an inspiration to me and an energy exchange for me as much as it is for them. So thank you for this beautiful opportunity. And from this platform, I really feel like my pure intention today is just whoever watches it, unko kuch na kuch mile, and they relate and they open up more in their life to be more daring, to be the director of their life, and move forward in a positive trajectory no matter what.
Thank you. That was a very insightful opening statement from the two of you. But then we did not expect anything less than that also. So let's start by shooting a question directly towards you, Nilanjana. Actually, both of you, what you are doing does not fall into the traditional category of employment. You have taken up something very different. It is not a standard 9 to 5 job with a standard salary. It is something अवे फ्रॉम, कुछ हटके है जो आप कर रहे हैं. तो पहली बात तो यहां पर यह आती है कि कुछ हटके करने में कन्विक्शन कहां से आया, क्योंकि जब भी आप कुछ हटके करने लगते हैं तो समाज आपको बहुत जज करता है. और दूसरी बात ये कि भारतीय होते हुए भारत के बाहर ऐसा कुछ अनकन्वेंशनल करना जिसे शायद भारत के बाहर इतना नहीं जाना जाता था तब, उसका अनुभव, उसका एक्सपीरियंस आपका कैसा रहा? तो आपसे शुरू करेंगे नीलांजना जी, आप बताएं, और फिर जैसा कि हमने कहा फिर कनिका के पास जाएंगे जी.
So as I mentioned already earlier, Anupam, I got into it by chance. योगा मेरे लिए खुद भी एक ये, जबकि मैं इंडिया से हूँ, लेकिन जब मेरी तबीयत बहुत खराब हुई थी and I couldn't move, and mobility has always been a very huge part of my life because I've loved it, despite being an architect, exercise and staying fit was always one of the things in my life. But when everything came to a standing halt because of the autoimmune condition that I nursed back then, I had no choice. But I was very clear about one thing, that I don't want to go the route of just pumping myself with medicines and steroids. I did put a stop to that, and then I was looking for answers, and the answer lay in yoga. I was pushed and directed towards it. And when I saw the magic that it did for me, at that point of time, it was just health. I started moving, I could move my joints. I had polyarthritis. Many of my joints, I was just 27 years old, were badly inflamed. And when I saw the difference, and when I came out of it defying the very words of a very, very highly respected doctor, who had told me that for my life I'd had to live with this condition. I was blown over. I was like, you know what? This has done wonders for me, and this needs to be shared. And that's how the journey started, if you ask me. So I've been an architect, so I've always designed. I've run my own company and all of that. But this became such a huge part of me, and I wanted to share it. And it just began from there, because I love teaching, because I love practicing and I love teaching. And वो धीरे धीरे कब वो इतना फैल गया कि, like, people started coming to me for healing, literally. And then I realized that I know very little about yoga. So the process of continuing my education started. And this was back in India. But when I came to Bahrain, and I had seen the response back in India to all that I was sharing, whatever I was learning on my path, I felt that I saw that little lack here back then, like 12, 13 years ago, that there were some yoga people here, but not as many. And perhaps yoga was reduced to just like what most people think of it as, just physical asana practice. And it's just one minuscule aspect of the whole practice, actually. So I was like, it's my responsibility for sharing this with people, because whatever little, I won't say I know too much, but whatever little I know. And that's how. And this is what drives me. And what really, really gratifies me, I would say, is when I see results, similar sort of results, what I experienced in people. When people come to me even after one yoga session and they were like, this has changed me, this has worked on me at the innermost level, or I'm coming back. And then I see them coming back, getting hooked onto it and learning. They come for this, they get so much. So this is what drives me. And your whole thing about not being it being a conventional job, I totally agree with you. But I've always been the believer of you should chalk your own path and not follow the herd. And that's when probably, and I don't do it for standing out or looking different, but I believe in it. Because if you just keep doing what everybody is doing, that where is the scope for you to make that change? Or,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? So this is my little journey.
Thank you. And very beautifully enumerated. Ji, Kanika.
So my story really mirrors Nilangela ji's story, purely because I think when people are pushed to the darkest night of the soul, is what I term it, right? That's when
Absolutely.
the phoenix rises within you. That's where the power lies within you. और मेरे साथ भी यही हुआ था. मैं जब 2018 में वापस आई थी, I was completely shattered. I came back on a wheelchair and I was on 10 pills a day. And that's when, after 1.5 months के बाद भी जब मैं ठीक नहीं हो रही थी, and I was shattered not just physically but mentally, emotionally, completely. It was the deepest, darkest moment for me in my life, and what I call a cosmic slap to wake me up. So when I actually got back, and after the 45 days, तब भी कुछ नहीं हो रहा था. I'm like, क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? क्या? What is this? The medical system is not working for me. So I need to take the reins in my hands. And that's when I actually started becoming more interested in health. And that's where my journey started, where I was first a health researcher for 4 years until I got certified as an holistic health coach. Now I call myself an intuitive health coach because I tell people that your body is such a beautiful piece of technology that you have. It has innate wisdom within it, as Atma jisko bolte hain, and your own body has an ability to heal itself. तो जब मैंने वो सर्टिफिकेशन किया, because I could see people coming to me and me advising them, and like how Nilangela ji said, seeing that result, seeing the fulfillment of just like people having smiles on their face, I'm like, ठीक है, let me get certified, because sometimes people feel more confident when you're certified, even though the knowledge, have the knowledge. So I got certified. And जब मैंने वो किया, मुझे तब पता चला the fourth element that was missing, and that was energy. Because like we know, everything is energy. And that's where my path opened up for energy healing. And not just any energy healing. I'm a quantum healer. Now, what is quantum healer? अगर कोई भी पूछेंगे, तो quantum physics and biology is a science in itself, and it works with the
Yes.
quantum field. And what is the quantum field? Sab cheez. Brahman is quantum field. And when I started learning that, that is when my consciousness expanded, and I realized that if people understood energy, this is the basic science. Everything to be physically present, there has to be an energetic blueprint around it. And that's when it physically manifests in your life. And when you go into details of that, that's when I'm like, everyone should know this. This is the drive for all of us, right? कि जब हमें कुछ अच्छा लगता है, and when we get the positive result out of it, we feel like sharing it, because people should know who they are, what sort of potency lies within us, not just with our physical vessel, but our mindset, our belief set, and our energetic space. We are light beings. This is quantified by science, but not many people are aware of it. And through awareness and through these channels and portals, we're making people aware that they have the power within them. तो मेरी जर्नी वहां से शुरू हुई, और अब like when I see people coming and opening up and just purging, breaking the norms, like you said, yeah, it's not a 9 to 5. And I think हम लोग इतना कंज्यूम हो जाते हैं 9 to 5 में. मैंने भी अभी छोड़ा है अपना 9 to 5 while I was doing this as my passion work. But I've never felt any more liberated and get so much of wisdom just being in my space. Because कितनी बार होता है ना, हम लोग अपने आप को उतना space नहीं दे पाते हैं. We get consumed everywhere. But once we give ourselves that space, we're able to impart much more. And for me, that was like my breakthrough, that I'm like, yeah, this piece of science everyone should know, and which is nothing but remembering who they are. So that's my journey.
That was really, really beautifully narrated, Kanika. Thank you so much for that. बट वो जैसा कि हम कहानियों में चक्रव्यूह की बात सुनते हैं ना, तो आपका हर उत्तर आपको एक नए प्रश्न की ओर ले जाता है. और नीलांजना जी, आपसे ही प्रारंभ करेंगे इस दौर का भी. तो जैसा कि आपने कहा कि आप अस्वस्थ थी, यू वर नॉट हेल्दी, और तब आपको ये योग की विद्या जो है ये मिली, और उससे आपको बहुत लाभ हुआ, और आपने फिर उसे जनमानस में फैलाना प्रारंभ किया. तो चंद शब्दों में अगर पूछा जाए तो योग क्या है? हम अधिकतर लोग ये सोचते हैं कि योग मतलब हाँ, कुछ उल्टे सीधे आसन कर लेते हैं, मुश्किल तरह से अपने शरीर को घुमा फिरा लेते हैं, और उसके बाद बैठ करके कुछ प्राणायाम कर लेते हैं. लेकिन आपने अभी कहा कि वो तो योग का शायद सिर्फ प्रारंभ है. तो योग क्या है, नीलांजना जी? और जब अगर कोई हमारे श्रोता, हमारे दर्शक आज ये सुन रहे हैं, तो क्या कुछ वो अनुभव कर सकते हैं, और क्या कुछ वो एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं योग की शिक्षा ग्रहण करने से?
बहुत ही आपने प्रोफाउंड क्वेश्चन पूछा अनुपम जी, बिकॉज योग जो है बेसिकली अगर देखा जाए तो इट्स संस्कृत में अगर उसको बोला जाए तो युज कहते हैं. उसका जो संस्कृत रूट है उसको युज कहते हैं, वो आपको तो पता है अच्छे से. एंड बेसिकली इट हैज वेरी सिंपल, इट मीन्स यूनियन, इट मीन्स ज्वाइनिंग. नाउ बट ज्वाइनिंग व्हाट, यूनियन ऑफ व्हाट इज द क्वेश्चन. सो अगर आपने फिजिकल अपने अवतार में देखा जाए एज अ ह्यूमन बीइंग, आई वुड से जॉइनिंग द माइंड टू द बॉडी. ठीक है? So just like Anika said that, you know, it's all about getting these different layers of your existence together. It has been there in yoga, in our Vedas for thousands of years. I have to explain this to you for you to understand the meaning of yoga or yoga and why we do this. So we believe in yogic science that we have 5 layers of existence. So this first layer that you see is just the grossmost layer. इसको हम कहते हैं अन्नमया कोशा. अन्ना means food. तो ये food body है. और food is obviously this body is how we reinforce this body is by consuming the right kind of food, doing the right kind of practices, exercise, following a good lifestyle. But हमारा ये बहुत wrong concept है सोचना कि ये हम हैं, because ये हम हैं ही नहीं. This is just a shell. This is just a mere shell for the rest of the layers which are all inside, okay, which are like 4 more layers. तो second जो होता है, जो हम energy body कहते हैं, अगर आप कोई भी चीज़ उठाइए, ये भी इसके पास भी body है, ये भी जो भी मेरे सामने चीज़ें मैं उठा रही हूँ, ये भी एक body. These are all physical things. Just like I have a body, these things also have a body. But how do we become different from any of these objects? The addition of prana. Prana is just a word. It's again a Sanskrit word, which means life force. Now, various traditions have different names for it. The Chinese call it chi, the Koreans call it something else like that. But आप उसको बस सोचिए कि it's a life force. And that is what gives us, that animates our experience. Otherwise, we will just be a dead body. We'll be a body, but we'll be a dead body. So that's your energetic layer. Now, when we talk about yoga, the asana practice is meant to take care of your physical body. But the energetic body has to come with the essence of pranayam. Pranayam is breathing with awareness. It is laid in the asana practice. The asana practice becomes an asana practice only when you add your breath to it. And that is how it becomes different to any other flexibility exercise. I hope I'm making sense. I have to explain
Yes.
this to you layer-wise. तो अब ये हुआ हमारी physical body joining to our energy body. The energy body also has a name. We call it Pranamaya Kosha. Kosha means layer, and Pranamaya is your pranic body, right? Now we come on to the third layer. There are 5 layers. जो तीसरा है वो सबसे important है in some sense, mind body. इसको हम कहते हैं Manomaya Kosha. Now your physical body and your mind body has the bridge, which is your energy body. That is what is sandwiched between your physical and your this. So this union of the mind with your physical body is made by using your breath. And that is the science of yoga. Joining your physical body, Annamaya Kosha, with your mind body, Manomaya Kosha. And what we are using as a tool is something which we have within us, but we don't use it enough. Breath is not prana. Breath is the physical manifestation of prana. जब हम सही से breathing करते हैं, जो सारी techniques हम योग में सीखते हैं, उससे हम अपने प्राणा को मैनिपुलेट करते हैं. So breath is a physical manifestation of prana. Okay? So we've come to these 3 layers, लेकिन it doesn't end there. Mind body में ego है. तो उधर से हमें ऊपर और जाना है. So योग. So one is physical to your
mental
mind body using the breath. That connection, then it comes a deeper connection, which is the real meaning of yoga, where you're connecting yourself, your physical body, to the higher consciousness, and that your inner consciousness. And for that, you're going deeper in. You come onto the next layer, which is your Jnanamaya Kosha. Wisdom is in that kosha. When you transcend your mind, your me, your I, all of that keeps dropping. You come to wisdom. You start understanding the real things in life. पर उसको जब हम ट्रांसेंड करते हैं, उधर भी ईगो है. जब वो ईगो भी ड्रॉप हो जाती, then we reach the final, which is a bliss body known as Anandamaya Kosha. And the whole purpose of yoga is to reach there. So when we talk about yoga, and once you reach there, that's the real you. I hope I'm not sounding very preachy, but that's the real you. None of these layers are the real you. These are simply, what should I say? This is just like it's not real actually. We think हम ये हैं वो हैं, ये सब हम कुछ नहीं है. That's the real you. And when you connect to the real you, when you close your eyes and that noise in your head, that thing at the back, which is talking to you, that is the real you. That is your inner consciousness. And once you reach there, then you connect to your outer consciousness, and that's yoga. Connecting the inner consciousness to the outer consciousness. So 2 meanings. One is within yourself, physical to mind, using your breath. Second is the real one, where inner consciousness, once you reach there, to connect to the outer consciousness. I don't want it to be too preachy, but this has to be understood.
जी.
And the whole purpose of yoga is trying to get there.
जी, तो एक प्रकार से हम ये भी कह सकते हैं कि this is an entirely spiritual journey, using the different faculties of the 5 koshas, the body, the
Of
mind,
course it is. Of course
the
it is.
intellect.
When you're elevating as a person, as a soul. I mean, once you're understanding the real things in life, the real you, you're evolving spiritually. Of course, it is a spiritual journey. It's not a religious yoga is there in our Vedas, but I would like to break the myth that it's for everybody, just like Chinese food is for everybody. We don't say Chinese food is for Chinese people. Yoga is for everybody. It's a science which has existed so many years.
जी जी।
So yeah.
तो ये आध्यात्मिक है, धार्मिक नहीं है, जैसे
धार्मिक
स्पिरिचुअल
तो बिल्कुल नहीं है,
जी
स्पिरिचुअल है और सबके लिए है। और आप
जी
इस पे एक चीज लेने आएंगे, आपको जैसे कहते हैं ना, बाय वन गेट टू फ्री, आप बाय वन यू विल गेट 1 मिलियन फ्री। आप इतना सीखोगे। मैं तो लेने आई थी सिर्फ फिजिकली चलना फिरना सीख लो, बिकॉज माई जॉइंट्स हैड स्टॉप्ड वर्किंग एंड आई वाज सुपर यंग, आई हैड नो किड्स, नथिंग एट दैट टाइम। मतलब बिल्कुल लास्ट रिजॉर्ट होता है ना, वैसे में आई थी। But you look at me now, 22 years down the line, I'm still studying, still trying to understand just the basics of the science.
Beautiful. So Kanika, heading to you, like Nilanjana explained extremely beautifully and in detail how we transcend the 5 koshas or the 5 layers or the 5 sheets, which we mistake to be our identity till we reach the consciousness. You are talking about consciousness, you are talking about Chetna, you are talking about that me. So, what is your journey? And by yours, I don't mean personally you, but as a quantum healer, how does that take us to the real me?
So, Nilanjana ji touched base on something that we also in quantum healing talk about, right? Our 5 bodies, which is
Yes.
nothing but our physical, our mental, our emotional, our energetic, and then our spiritual causal body, which is our higher consciousness, right? And what we do as quantum healers or any energy healer strives to do is bring you back to your natural state. Now, what is your natural state? That is when your heart, mind, and your spirit, which is your soul, are in total connection. That is where you completely are in connection to your higher consciousness, you want to call it avatar consciousness, your highest self, anything you can name it. But that is your true connection. And what I personally believe after, learning a lot of astrology, consciousness studying, learning from a lot of ascended masters, a lot of philosophers, I've come to this basic truth of life is, for me, it's not a journey about transcendence, it's about embodiment. The more you embody and encompass all your layers together, remembering who you are by decoding everything, not just your physical body of, let's say, being fit, because that's your vessel for your soul to drive all your dreams, all your passions, all your hobbies. That's your vessel, not just your mental body, understanding your faulty belief sets. We've been programmed for so long. कितनी बार होता है कि हमने कुछ सीखा है और उससे हम लोग जिंदगी देख रहे हैं, मगर as a curious learner, have you actually thought कि वो thought भी ठीक है आपके लिए? Is it serving your purpose? We stop becoming children. I always tell, embrace your inner child, right? Start being curious in life, because once you start with that curiosity, that's when you break barriers. That's how I broke my barrier. You, Auntie, did. Nilanjana ji did. By, okay, I don't want to be in this state. How do I become that ardent learner and keep on learning and learning and learning and teaching people in that? And then we come to our emotional body. People don't realize how much your mental, your belief system, and your emotions govern everything in your life. Your actions, your reactions, your decision making. And when you're more aware, awareness is so key. And that is where yoga also comes, right? When you take a deep breath, just take a nice, deep, juicy belly breath in. And when you let it out, you just come to such a space where you're like centered. You're centered, you're able to really tap into what are you feeling, your emotions. And when you actually master that and become an observer, then you come to your energetic body, which is again your external factor and your internal factor intertwining together. They're in constant motion, interaction and interaction. And after that is your higher self, your avatar consciousness that we talk, which lies in, we're all dimensional beings. We have bandwidth, which is quantum physics again, quantum science, where third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth, and the higher the dimension you go, the higher octave of light. And we're all having, like they say, chi, prana, right? That's your life force. You've got meridians in your body that we're actually, if you see, we're like a light bulb. हमारे में इलेक्ट्रिसिटी चलती रहती है and that's what governs everything. And any sort of trauma, which is an emotional aspect, right, triggers something within us. So for me, I truly believe that when someone comes to me and asks me, Kanika, what do? I just tell them, I bring you back to your natural state, which is your heart combining with your mind, combining with your spirit. And once that's in alignment, you really understand your purpose of life, because we all come with a very unique expression in life. And the universe is, and or God or whoever you believe, right, are constantly trying to show you your unique expression, to really bring out your gifts and talents and teach people and learn from people. And for me, this is just such a magical journey, is because the more you decode yourself, the more you understand every experience in your life that's happened to you is for you. And it's a constant journey of decoding and decoding. So when someone comes to me, they start understanding that, oh, okay, fine, it's nothing. I'm like, I'm not doing anything. You will be a clear channel. And by what I mean clear channel is when you start listening to your heart. We're so programmed to literally think from our minds, right? But our heart has this innate intelligence. And when you think and feel from your heart, that is where the power of your dreams coming true lies in front of you. And that is what energy healing, any sort of modality in this, from yoga to, it's all come from the same ancient scriptures, right? Nothing is different, because they're all based on universal laws. There are 12 universal laws, and every modality, how much ever I know, is based on those 12 universal laws. Once we start understanding that, we'll understand ourselves, we'll understand life, we'll understand this magical experience that we have each and every moment in our life. And that's what expanding your consciousness means. It means embodying the most innate wisdom within you, but you can only embody it once you start working on not just your emotional or your mental or your ego or so many faulty beliefs that you have and deprogram it, but actually have a clear access to let the wisdom come through you and believe in what you do.
Absolutely. Very beautifully said. Wonderfully said. Before I proceed further, just a small announcement for all the viewers. यदि आप इन दोनों महानुभावों में से किसी के भी विषय में अधिक जानकारी प्राप्त करना चाहें, यदि आप इनसे जुड़कर अपने जीवन में बदलाव लाना चाहें, तो कृपया 10 न्यूज़ से संपर्क स्थापित करें. हम आपको इनसे अवश्य मिलवाएंगे. मूविंग ऑन, लेट्स गो टू आवर नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. तो नीलांजना, आपने बताया कि हमारे कैसे पंचकोश होते हैं और हम पंचकोश के बाहर जाते हैं या बियॉन्ड जाते हैं, और वो जो योग होता है हमारा हमी से, वही मोक्ष है, वही मुख्य कारण है, वही मुख्य ध्येय है. और वहीं कनिका ने भी हमें वही बताया कि ये कुछ 12 प्रिंसिपल्स होते हैं जिनके द्वारा कोई भी राह आपको अपनी उस व्यक्तिगत मैं से मिलवाती है जो कि अहम से परे है, जो कि अज्ञान से परे है. So in a way, these are both very, very spiritual paths. Now, when we talk about spiritual paths, many a times they are confused with religion, and many a times we face a lot of block. People are not able to accept it readily, especially coming from India, because we do not follow the Abrahamic religion. We don't have a one God, we have many ways. How have people received your knowledge, And being an Indian, how does it help, or how does it make it more challenging for you to reach out to people who are not Indians? And how have they received it? How have they returned your favors, if I may say so? Because this is a huge favor that you are doing to humanity by giving us this knowledge.
No,
Nilanjana
thank you
ji,
so
we'll
much,
start with.
Anupam ji. No, thank you so much. What I can say, the answer to this question is that I have had the most amazingly positive response from 99% of the people. And that 1% where you face a bit of backlash or questioning, that 1% could be anywhere in the world. जरूरी नहीं कि वो बहरीन में ही हो या वो certain category of people हो. वो 1% या 2% तो आपको सब जगह मिलते हैं. But I have been lucky enough. मैं अपने को बहुत ही ज़्यादा I consider myself very lucky that probably the sources through which I have learned and I'm still learning and the path is still on. And सबसे important ये है कि I'm a big believer of staying authentic. There are योगा के नाम पे बहुत कुछ हो रहा है अभी दुनिया में, बहुत कुछ, मतलब
जी.
unbelievable type की चीजें भी हो रही हैं, but I have stuck to what I know. And what I have learned from all my learnings have been from India, and so I'm a traditionalist, if you might call me that. Yes, I am. And मैं क्योंकि I realize जितना आप deeply rooted हैं किसी भी चीज में और उसको आप authentically अगर follow करेंगे तो वो simplified हो जाता है and वो लोगों को समझ में आता है. लेकिन अगर आप उसको जो है just for the sake of wanting to be different and reach out in different ways because others are doing it, आप वो करने की कोशिश करते हैं, somewhere you will lose it yourself because you have to believe in it. So I have stuck to what I know best and I have taught that to people and they have received it with immense grace. Like so much so that I have been told that जब वो योगा क्लास के लिए आते हैं तो कि नील्स योगा, मेरा नाम को शॉर्टन करके नील बोला जाता है यहाँ पे और सब जगह, तो वो नील्स योगा. अब ये नील्स योगा क्या होता है कि they feel that I do something very different and therefore they come to me. I'm known in Bahrain for that. So I'm like, you know what, I am actually doing absolutely basic what is meant to be done. आप लोग जो करके आ रहे हो पता नहीं क्या कर रहे हो. So what I'm trying to say here is being authentic and rooted and absolutely honest in what I teach has helped me. And it has helped me not only to teach asana, because asana is just one part of yoga, the rest of yoga. And I can very proudly say that I've been able to educate people about the relevance of, say, something like Om chanting or something like mantra chanting, जिसको हम, it's a huge part of yoga. And बहुत जगहों पे बहुत केयरफुल होना पड़ता है लोगों को, क्योंकि सबको लगता है कि इसमें आप रिलीजन लेके आ रहे हो, बट उसका मीनिंग अगर आप उनको एक्सप्लेन कर दो, they get it because they see that you come from an authentic space, you know what you're doing and they understand. And everybody, अब आज के ज़माने में I would even go as far as to say that लोग बहुत intelligent audience हो गए हैं. They also want to understand everything the way it's meant to be. तो आप उनको, so that has helped me in at least following my path. It has been a big help for me. So अब जैसे कुछ लोग अभी भी मुझे पूछते हैं क्लास में, because I always start my class with an Om chant, or 3 times we chant Om and Shanti mantra, कि ओम का क्या मतलब है, शांति का मतलब क्या है. तो आप उनको एक्सप्लेन करो, जब करते हो they get it. And then I always give them the option of कि अगर आप uncomfortable हो, so instead of chanting Om, आप आमीन chant कर सकते हो, आप सिर्फ आ chant कर सकते हो. There are 3 layers to the Om itself.
जी.
So some of the people follow that, जो थोड़े से uncomfortable है. But other than that, it's been an immensely gratifying experience for me. There have been people who have believed in me so much कि सिर्फ योगा ही तो सिखाती हूँ और क्या करती हूँ मैं, बट कुछ तो देखते होंगे कि ऑनेस्टी है. तो मेरे साथ they have come all the way to India, not once, twice, 3 times, a whole lot of people, because they have believed in what I do, and I've taken them to the most traditional Vedic places because they want to learn more of that, because they love what I taught them. And I think the only 2 words I can say is authenticity and honesty. I have stuck to that, And because of that, I think I have had no negative experiences. That 1% doesn't matter. I don't even want to
Wonderful.
talk about it.
Hold on to that thought about going to India to the traditional places. We'd love to hear more about it. But first,
Sure.
over to Kanika. And Kanika, what has your experience been, and how have you been received, treated, celebrated, being an Indian?
I think, you know, positivity speaks. And like we say, right, you walk the walk and you talk the talk. And if you're conscious and authentic, like how Nilanjana said, right, nothing stops you. So for me, yes, people were intrigued. What is quantum healing? क्योंकि कभी सुना नहीं है. Energy healing बोलो तो, honestly, people take it to Reiki. They,
Ji.
the first thing is Reiki, like how yoga is only about breath, people feel. So, just demystifying that and making them understand that quantum healing is nothing but it's a science, and everything is a science and an art. It's an amalgamation of science and art. And the moment you start educating, people genuinely have become very curious learners. For me, this was the best part कि मैं किसी को भी समझाने जाऊं, they really want to hear it because it's something different. They've not heard it. And when you intertwine spirituality in terms of universal laws, it's not based on religion. तो उसमें मुझे religion based तो कभी resistance नहीं मिला है. Genuinely speaking, it's not like I've had a huge, multifold layers and journeys or journey of mine, but रिलीजन के बेस पे तो मुझे कभी नहीं रेजिस्टेंस मिला. जो मुझे मिला है, इट्स जस्ट कैन यू एक्सप्लेन मोर, एंड द मोर यू एक्सप्लेन टू पीपल, द मोर दे अंडरस्टैंड कि people are always very, very, very curious to know about themselves. That's one thing I've heard, I've learned over the course of being with clients. Ki they want to know themselves, but they want tools to know कि मैं कैसे जानूं, मैं मेरे साथ क्या हो रहा है. और एक बार अवेयरनेस खुल जाती है ना, then there are no boundaries. They just feel it becomes like a positive addiction to them कि हाँ मुझे अब ये जानना है, अब मुझे ये जानना है, अब मुझे ये जानना है. एंड जितना आप सिखा पाओ, बिकॉज एंड यू हैव टू बी अ कांस्टेंट लर्नर. आई जेन्युइनली फील कि अगर द डे you stop learning, you become
Very true.
stagnant. You have to be a continuous student and a teacher, and that's what I abide by, because
Absolutely.
knowledge is vast. And honestly, you take one subject, even if you take one of those universal laws, जैसे for example, उसमें इतनी सारी चीजें हैं that sometimes छोटी छोटी चीजें जब बोलते हैं ना, there's one law called as above so below, as in so out. And people don't understand that, but that simply means your inner core belief and your inner reflection is an outward reflection towards you. Life will always present and project how you are deeply inside. And this is where Indian mythology also comes. मुझे हमेशा, I used to love watching Bal Ganesh and Shivji and all of this, because religion actually teaches you all of this as well, in terms of these anecdotes कि जब, let's take Ganesh, right? उनका सर कट गया था. क्यों? Because he had so much ego. So people should be humble and compassionate and not have ego. People should take these stories it's every religion, even in the Bible, even in the Quran. When you take these snippets and actually see life from that, you can learn so much. So getting back to what I said, be a curious learner and always question. And your heart will always, always know the correct answer. If your heart resonates with something, go do it. Because I am 100, not 200% sure it's going to be the best thing that you're going to do in your life. You'll have challenges for sure, but those challenges are only to expand you and unleash you even more.
Beautiful. You reminded me of a very
So that's my
famous
journey.
quote from Rishi Nitya Pragya ji, And he always used to say, Yat Pinde Tat Brahmande. So, whatever happens in this body, and by body, again, we mean the entirety of consciousness, is what gets manifested in your Brahman, in the universe that you create for yourself. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
So, as we promised, going back to Nilanjana, we would definitely want to know more about these trips that you take. Where do you take these people? What happens there? What is their reaction? How does it all work out? And how does it help in their journey towards, let's say, yogic self alignment, for want of a better word?
So see, actually for this, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Ayurveda because, Ayurveda, आप सबको पता होगा, it's an sister science of yoga. It's the oldest healing system in the world actually. है ना?
Yes.
और हम जितना भी मैंने जब इतने सालों से मैं योगा पढ़ रही हूँ सीख रही हूँ, so Ayurveda has always been part of it. थोड़ा बहुत उसको सीखा. But what changed it for me was over the last 4 or 5 years, I happened to do a course in Ayurveda, full course, and it intrigued me a lot. And it sort of resonated with my own journey as well because I was so unwell. But that back then, homeopathy had worked for me because I didn't have that much of an idea of Ayurveda. But now I do, and I realized that, oh my God, I realized that this is something which I need to go deeper into. And so I did several courses, and at present, actually, I'm doing a master's in Ayurvedic nutrition and digestion. So I had to give you that little background to explain that when I do take these people or they come with me, let me not say I take these people come with me, right? Because they believe that I would in some way be able to help them go dive deeper into their own healing, because people come to yoga for healing mostly. 80% of the people come to yoga for healing, the rest 20% come to do a headstand or a handstand, okay? But then eventually they understand that that's like not really the thing. So जब healing के लिए आते हैं, then you give them the Ayurvedic perspective that आप आए हो कुछ करने के लिए, लेकिन it's Ayurveda is a lifestyle science that when you incorporate this into your life, it is going to make huge difference into your yogic practice and into your life itself. तो उसका मैं introduction जब देती हूँ, उसके बारे में बात करना शुरू करती हूँ. So it is such an interesting thing that people get very intrigued. And in India and across the world also, there are so many places where we have Ayurvedic wellness places, Ayurveda and yoga wellness places. So when people come with me to India, because firstly, they kind of, they know that I'm an Indian, and जो भी मैं उनसे बात करती हूँ सिखाती हूँ, they get totally attached to the fact that they feel कि हमें भी करना है ये, because they listen to my story. So we go to these wellness places. I won't call them resorts, I'll call them wellness places, which work on you. It's a 7-day, 10 days, जितने भी दिन के लिए हम जाते हैं. So you go there and you're actually assessed by an Ayurvedic Vaidya the moment you reach there. And based on your assessment, based on your doshas, how your constitution and everything, there's a line of treatment which is drawn for the next few days that you're there, and which incorporates Ayurvedic treatments and yoga. Meditation, pranayama is all part of yoga. So this is what happens when we go together for these retreats, and they have been extremely well received, so much so that I've had people come back for 3 times in a row with me because they've loved it so much. And so much so that it's directed me to have my own company now, which I am in the process of just firming up. It's called Be Yogic. So Be Yogic is just in its very nascent stages, but it's a firm.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's something under that umbrella. I hope to have everything that I have learned in terms of yoga, Ayurveda, and Vastu, because Vastu is like people pen to paper for me. When I design, Vastu is just part of me. I've done it so many years, so it kind of, all of that comes together. And on the retreats, I make it a point. So yeah, just talking about the retreat, how I make it different to any other retreat. All retreats are good. It's like getting away from your regular life and just getting in touch with your inner self. But how my retreats are different are that you are immersing yourself in yoga, Ayurveda. There is an overview of Vastu that's given, right? Because Vedic sciences are 4. We have Ayurveda, yoga, we have Vastu, which is the science of building. Like Kanika said, I also truly believe your body is the art and it's the art and science. Yoga is the art and science of your body, and Vastu is the art and science of your building. So your built environment also has an impact on you. हमें पता है इसके बारे में, right? तो
जी
वास्तु का एक इंट्रोडक्शन मैं ज़रूर देती हूँ उनको अपने रिट्रीट्स पर. मोस्ट ऑफ दीज प्लेसेस जहाँ हम जाते हैं वहाँ पे द प्लेस इटसेल्फ इज लेड आउट इन टर्म्स ऑफ वास्तु, सो वी give them a whole tour of that place, explain everything, और फिर मैं खुद उनको educate them about vastu. And then Jyotish Vidya, that is the other fourth thing that I do introduce them to. So like last time, they were very excited. I had booked all of them with an amazing Jyotish astrologer, and सबने अपनी अपनी पत्री बनवाई, उनके संग कंसल्टेशन लिया. So it's a holistic Vedic wellness. When you
yes.
come with me to India for a retreat, if you want to call it, it's holistic Vedic wellness that happens. And Be Yogic का यही मकसद है जो अब मेरी कंपनी है उसके थ्रू hopefully और ज़्यादा I'll be able to manage doing what I love doing.
बहुत बधाई आपको इसके लिए
Thank you.
नीलांजना जी.
Thank you.
I think this is a very beautiful step that you have taken in the right direction.
Thank
और अब
you.
आप ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोगों को भारत, भारतीय संस्कृति, भारतीय सभ्यता और भारतीय विज्ञान से मिलवाएंगी, जो
जी.
कि कहीं ना कहीं हमारे लिए एक बहुत गौरव का कारण हो जाता है, क्योंकि हमने बहुत वर्षों तक ये सुना कि इंडिया इज द लैंड ऑफ स्नेक चार्मर्स एंड मंकीज. तो बहुत गर्व अनुभव होता है जब आप जैसे लोग इस प्रकार का कोई कार्य करते हैं जिसमें भारतीय विज्ञान का उत्सव मनाया जाता है. सो heartiest congratulations on that, and I just hope that this goes more and beyond. So on that note,
One more thing I'd like to just say here, Anupam ji,
जी बिल्कुल.
हमारे जो प्रधानमंत्री हैं मोदी जी, उन्होंने एक इतना अमेजिंग ये स्टेप लिया है टू by creating the Ministry of Ayush. मैंने खुद 2 कोर्सेस करे हैं एंड मैं इवैल्यूएटर भी हूँ उन्हीं वहीं के कोर्सेस करके. तो ही इज एक्चुअली एम्पावरिंग वुमेन एंड he's giving a lot of support to taking this our culture forward. And therefore मेरी कंपनी जो है वो भी इंडिया से ही, मैं इसको Be Yogic India Private Limited, that's my company. It's based out of India because I thought ki let's just take that whole thing forward. Sorry.
Beautiful.
Now up.
Thank you. No, thank you so much for letting us know that. It's really important to know. So coming to you, Kanika, and I think this is going to be the final round of questions because we are running out of time. And like always, I am at a loss. So coming to you, Kanika, I would like to know, what has your experience been? Right now, you are not in your home. You have moved to Australia and you're going to stay there for 6 months. And you are taking this to another level, next level. And like Neelanjana said, it's all about integrity. It's all about going back to your roots. तो आपका कैसा अनुभव रहा, और एक भारतीय होने के नाते लोग कितना विश्वास करते हैं आप जो सिखा रहे हैं उस पे, और कितने को वो स्नेक चार्मर्स एंड मंकीज का कह करके राइट ऑफ कर देते हैं?
I think gone are the days, and like our Prime Minister सच्ची में मोदी जी ने इतना योगा एंड एंशियंट इंडियन कल्चर को इतना प्रमोट कर चुके हैं कि आई थिंक gone are the days that people are calling us that, and we've reached far beyond that, genuinely speaking. And मेरा genuinely I'm just going to launch my website, and my company is already formed. It's called Us Obsessed. And why? Because I'm obsessed about us collectively as humanity. I really want us to see ascending to greater heights, remembering who we are and what roots we come from. And for me as an Indian, it was such a beautiful journey, because जब आप अपने रूट से आते हो ना, and I was always very, very connected to like not just mythology but astrology, Vedas. I'm reading the Vedas again just to gain more knowledge. And when we have such amazing traditions and such scriptures within our own country, people take us seriously. You know, this is a misconception people have ki they might be thinking ki kaun hai. Magar the moment they understand India, and people want to understand more of India, the kind of crowd I talk to over here, they're so mesmerized because firstly, India has become such a prominent country, not just for tech talent, but people from all over the world go back to India to learn from these ashrams and the yogis what true healing is, what it is to be your true self. And that is such, ये मेरे लिए बहुत गौरव की बात है कि, you know, going back from to a country where I have my roots from. I will always be an Indian, right? So
जी
when you see that, you feel so proud, and it becomes easier for you to explain people. And that's what my company is also going to be. It's going to bring in not just holistic health coaching, which is intuitively getting back your body and your power, but also mixing, because I feel everything has to be a holistic thing. So it's not just health coaching, it's astrology, because it's the macro picture. We're all one consciousness, we are all one.
yes
So astrology is such a potent science. And once you get it to it, you understand ki your energy also, your external energy also affects you. So how does astrology affect you? How are you dealing with your emotions? So working on your emotions, working on your mental faculties, rewiring your mental models. So this is what my whole company is, you know, based on. Us Obsess is based on decoding you and obsessing about yourself so that you truly understand your unique expressions. And these are based on the scriptures and the principles which we're known for. You know, ashram, Rishikesh, people go to Rishikesh just to find that purity and that the science of understanding consciousness and representing that country outside. And when I talk, and when people see that and they take India very seriously, we have this, you know, different misconception. But what I see India today is people really applaud India and go to India to learn. And it is such an honor to be an Indian and actually have full access to such a whole library of wisdom and intelligence. So for me, my journey is just started, just begun. Like, I don't have a lot of experience, but it's just begun. But for me, again, I'm going to be just grasping on all the knowledge that I can have and make a whole model setup to shift humans to superhumans. That is my whole mission, like humans to superhumans, because we are superb. We are galactic royalty, like I say. We have so much potential and we just know 1% of it. The moment we start waking up to all these other potentials that we have, I mean, it's a term, it's called philomath. You don't need to be a master in one, you can be a master in many fields, as long as you choose to keep on learning and keep on evolving and take whoever you can with you. And that's what we all are doing anyways, right? So that's my journey, and it's only begun.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Kanika. And with that, I think we are nearing the end of our program. So, just a closing remark for the audiences. आपने गत 6 सप्ताह से हमारा साथ दिया, हमारे कार्यक्रमों को देखा, सराहा, सुना, समझा, उसके लिए आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। 10 न्यूज़ को, गजानन माली जी को, सुनीता माली जी को दिल से धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगी, क्योंकि उन्होंने हमारी इस यात्रा को संभव किया। अपने सभी आमंत्रित गुणी अतिथियों का धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगी, जिन्होंने किसी न किसी प्रकार से हम सबको प्रेरित किया कि हम भी अपनी एक राह चुनें और उस पर चलते चलें। जैसा कि कवि बच्चन ने कहा था कि तू एक राह पकड़ और चला चल, पा जाएगा मधुशाला। तो हम सब अपनी उसी मधुशाला की तलाश में हैं, और इन सब दिग्गजों ने उसी प्रकार से अलग-अलग राह चुनकर अपनी अपनी मधुशाला को प्राप्त किया है, जिसके लिए हम इन सबको बधाई देते हैं और इनका आभार व्यक्त करते हैं कि इन्होंने समय निकाला हमारे इस कार्यक्रम से जुड़े। अपने सभी श्रोताओं को धन्यवाद देते हैं जो इतने सप्ताह से इन कार्यक्रमों को देख रहे हैं और यदि आप आगे भी देखना चाहें तो कृपया 10 न्यूज से संपर्क स्थापित करें और 10 न्यूज आप तक ये और कार्यक्रम अवश्य लेकर आएंगे। जाने से पहले 1 मिनट में यदि नीलांजना जी आप और फिर कनिका जी आप एनी क्लोजिंग रिमार्क्स कुछ कहना चाहें।
मैं तो सिर्फ ये हमेशा कहती हूँ, एवरीथिंग इज एनर्जी, सो बी द एनर्जी दैट यू वांट टू सी इन अदर्स। और दूसरी चीज मैं जो अभी कहना चाहूंगी कि आप अपना इंटरव्यू कब ले रही हैं, बिकॉज सबसे ज्यादा तो आपको इंटरव्यू करने की जरूरत है हम लोगों को, या आपको खुद you have done wonders the way in your space. I really mean it. I'm not saying it. I mean it, and I'm saying it on air today कि we need to embrace you. जो आप कर रही हैं वो बहुत कम लोग कर पाते हैं.
बहुत
So that
धन्यवाद।
is, you are being the energy that you want to see in others. Actually, you embody my statement. Everything is energy. The other thing I'd like to say, छोटा सा, आपने वो शुरू में कहा था मेरी किताब का नाम योगा बज है, वो योगा बज नहीं है, वो कॉलम था. This is my book. It's called the Yoga Handbook. It's called the Yoga Handbook. बस, thank you.
बहुत धन्यवाद। कनिका, any last words?
I just want to say कि जो भी आप करो दिल से करो, और be so conscious about yourself that life will happen through you, for you, and always, always, always to evolve you. Any challenge, take it as a blessing, because when you, after 3 years, look back on that challenge or that blessing that you got, it is only for your growth. So be the director of your life, craft an amazing life, love, forgive, and laugh. And that is what Anupam Aunty does, right? Whenever she meets anyone, she ensures she leaves you with a smile. So leave anybody you meet with a smile and live from your heart. That's all I want to say.
Absolutely. Very well said, Kanika. And I think we need to take an interview of Anupam ji.
Done.
And it will not end in 1 hour. वो खत्म ही नहीं होने वाला है.
Thank you so much. You both have been very gracious guests.
No, it's true.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आप दोनों का, और सभी श्रोताओं को एक बार पुनः धन्यवाद। शुभ रात्रि, शब खैर। आशा करती हूँ आपको ये कार्यक्रम श्रृंखला अच्छी लगी होगी, और यदि हाँ तो कृपया 10 न्यूज से संपर्क करें। हम आपके लिए और ऐसे कार्यक्रम लेकर आएंगे। तब तक के लिए धन्यवाद। भारतीय नारियों ने जिस प्रकार परचम लहराया, ऊंचा फहराया, उसके लिए यत्र नार्य पूज्यन्ते रमन्ते तत्र देवता। धन्यवाद। शब खैर, शुभ रात्रि। Thank you, ladies, for being with us yet again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you, same to you, and lovely connecting with you here. Once you're back in Bahrain, we should connect.
Yes, definitely,
Okay?
definitely.
Yeah, we should
Take
connect. Lovely meeting you. Take care. Bye-bye. How do we log out of this thing?
I think just got it. Yeah. Bye.
I don't even know how to log out. We are still live. Exit full screen. Okay. Leave studio. Okay, there is an icon there. See you, Kanika. Wish you the best.